Okay. Right, we're starting again. I've created a 1440p stream key specifically for YouTube. It's there. It's working, finally. Very interesting that it took me like several different AI chat sessions, you know, multiple Reddit threads, GitHub issues, Googling actual documentation. Nothing suggested that until an actual Google AI suggestion. Why is everything just bad, man? Why didn't it just come up right away, eh? Okay, so now let's do refresh the stream. We have 1080p 60 FPS on Twitch and 1440p 60 FPS on YouTube. Finally. Right, let me just real quick edit the link that I put out to include this new YouTube stream. And then we'll actually get into what I was going to do. Apologies for that, but yeah, that is part of the purpose of today's stream, is to actually test stuff out to do with the stream as well. Nice. But I'll do the explanation again because we should definitely delete those VODs real quick, and then we'll actually get into what we're doing today, because the plan wasn't just to test out some live stream stuff. Okay, just deleting those VODs on YouTube real quick. Okay. Nice. We're here. Things seem to be working. Okay. I'm here. let me just drink my water and oh, Poggy, Bev, thanks so much. You legend.
Bevo18 just subscribed. 26
thank you.
months, Nick, looking forward to many more. People hugging emoji, waving hand emoji.
Oh, thanks so much, Bev, you legend. Thanks so much. 26 months on Alpha's Games, you legend. Thanks so much for the resub, bud. I hope you're doing good. Okay. Right. I panicked a bit there. I was a little bit frazzled. But the setup is all good. I'm glad you're good, mate. All right, so I'll briefly summarize what just happened. So I've completely redone my stream setup just to summarize. I'll jump into, like, this stream is going to be about programming. We're going to be programming. Don't worry for anyone tuning in for that. But we just had to reset the stream a couple of times because basically I've just combined my old stream computer with my gaming PC so I can actually encode the stream with my 4070. And the reason we're doing that is basically just to improve the stream quality and some video stuff that I'm working on. So basically, now we're streaming on YouTube in 1440p, 60 FPS, and on Twitch at 1080p, 60 FPS. And on YouTube, it's actually an AV1 stream. And on Twitch, H264. If you don't know what any of that means, you don't need to worry about it. Basically, AV1 is amazing quality, but Twitch doesn't support it, but YouTube does. So basically, YouTube is going to have drastically better quality on all of the channels than Twitch. So if you want better quality, I do recommend watching on YouTube. However, I've also changed some settings to do with the Twitch streams that, whilst it's the same quality as it was before, in terms of 1080p 60 FPS, I know some people watch on Twitch because of compatibility, like they feel like it works better for them, it's easier for them to watch on Twitch. Well, I basically improved the encoder settings on Twitch to make the compatibility even better. So if sometimes people struggle with lag and stuff, like the Twitch stream actually might be easier for their device to handle. Also, completely new alerts, new overlay. We've got a camera that I've got Velcro to the top of my monitor where you can see my desk now. People might remember that I made a program ages ago that shows my keyboard inputs at the top of the screen. We've got that on the stream now. The overlay in the stream setup stays the same. I've got multiple different channels that it's hard to keep on top of, but the setup is going to be universal across all of them. I can just turn things on and off. So that goes for the Owlface game stuff when we do dev streams like this one that you're watching today. It goes for the main Nick Rawcliffe channel and Nick Rawcliffe 2 as well for all the speedrun and challenge stuff. Also, all the alerts are now, they've been changed now. They're all like some of my favorite video game soundtracks. Sorry, not soundtracks, sound effects. All of the alerts are like just like some of my favorite iconic video game sound effects. So that's fun. But also, pretty cool, Owlface games alerts start with a little owl noise, and Nick Rawcliffe 2 start with the Mortal Kombat Round 2 alert, so that when we're multicasting and doing different streams on different channels, we actually know what channel people follow just by listening to it. So there we go. Yeah, I'm good for the advice. That's Stiggy. I've been doing it for a long time. But what was I going to say? So we're also going to do some programming. So before we get into it today, let me show you what it is going to be working on. So I'm working on a game called Earth and Heart, and the game is basically being made in Odin. I originally started it was in C, but I decided to do a rewrite in Odin, and I'm absolutely loving the process. But one of the things to do with how we're making this game is we have some sort of unique tooling for managing color palettes and stuff. So how should I show this? I guess what I'll do is let's start a new teamwork session, and so right now, if we wait, hang on, what's happening here? Okay, there we go. So we just got this little starter scene where we just set up this animation, right? And we have this character. I'm going to turn off the switch to full screen so it doesn't affect the capture card. I'll do that shortly. That's another thing. The Mac that I use for dev is actually being captured with a capture card now. So it's going to be higher quality for the dev streams as well. So just to show what I'm talking about, if I go to this sprite here, you'll actually see that the sprites are actually uncolored. Now there's a whole reason why I decided to do this, just creatively. I kind of found that as someone that, you know, has done a lot of games with just kind of like programmer art or whatever, I found that basically I did a game jam where I made a Game Boy game, and I just found that working with GB Studio, I somehow was able to get like some of the best like sort of graphics that I've managed to make, and I scored really good in the game jam. It was like one of whatever, something like 50 games that got like maximum scores by the judges in the game jam, including the art. So that made me feel like I was onto something, and because of that, I felt like one of the reasons why I was able to get better results visually was the fact that when you're making a Game Boy game, you kind of have to make everything in the original Game Boy palette, right? And then you assign things palettes in GB Studio after the fact, which means it can be a little bit of a pain, but it does mean that you can kind of quickly just tweak a color. Oh, that doesn't look quite right, just tweak that, without having to, you know, re-export an asset or whatever. So I wanted to recreate something like that with my game. And yeah, just to show it as an example, I guess. If I now do what's up, Mike? Thanks for talking about the stream, mate. Hope you're doing good. If I now do palettes, right, and we do like person, yeah, so this is the color palette being used. If I just change this palette right now, yeah, I can just bake the colors, and when I run the game, It's now red. Okay. People that have seen me work on this for a while now have probably seen me demo this like a million times at this point. But yeah, just bearing that in mind. Let's rebake those assets. And you'll see it's changed back. Right. Just whilst I'm here as well, let's create game window. Oh, this is the wrong script. Yeah, let's just comment out toggle full screen for now. Just so the graphics card doesn't freak out every time we run it. There we go. Okay, so just to carry on. So in order to manage this system, I created a program in C that I sort of jokingly called Palette Sniffer. So to show you what Palette Sniffer actually does, first of all, if I run it, you'll see nothing right now, right? And that's because the current build of Palette Sniffer comes from a version of, it comes from the C version of the game. It's written in C. And at that time, what it did was look for certain palette data files. The current version of the palette system bakes assets with a Ruby script so that we save all of this, you know, it basically saves the having to have the palette system actually in the game build, because it's only something for the development process. It doesn't need to happen in real time, right? So it's an optimization is why it's taken out. And the current script that does it actually can just read the palette directly from the images. It doesn't have to just be data. But we used to use, you know, all kinds of scripting to basically extract the color data, and you can see that it would end up in a file like this that has the color data of the palette, and then that's what Palette Sniffer would actually look for. It's changed location right now. So if I yeah. If we go into here somewhere, it probably just needs, yeah. So what have we got here? Baking, palettes. Yeah, so it just doesn't have the bacon folder in right now. Right. Right, so now if we run it, you see, it actually extracts all of the palettes. Okay, I was just seeing some warnings on the YouTube stream. But anyways, so yeah, so just to show the point of this, right, if we actually now extract a few more palettes, right, like, let's now do, we've got person, what, blue, red, and we could do PAL village or something like that, right? Yeah. If we now open it, we can see we've got a load more. And so the idea is there are these shortcuts for organizing the palette. You can sort by hue, you can sort by brightness, you can sort by saturation, by value, by temperature, by luminance. And the point of this is that one of the most important things in pixel art is the color palette, and specifically to not have too much what's sort of referred to as like color bridging. And so that would basically be if we had two colors here. You see when we hover over it as well, it tells us the value, the index of the image within the file and the file name. The point of this anyways is if you have too much color bridging, it basically ruins how a game looks. And so what that would be is like if two colors next to each other was too similar, you sort of like want to reduce all of the ones in the middle. So that's why it's called like a color bridge. You don't want to have too much of that. You want to sort of do things in sort of as fewer colors as possible, generally with pixel art. And it's really just hard to sort of internalize on the fly and manage across. Like, if you were to draw like a single image, right, you could totally do it. Once you start creating a massive game with like hundreds of assets, it almost always just goes to shit, and I've never seen like a good solution for it. So this is like an effort to do that, because we have the advantage of, because we're using the palette system to begin with that we created, we have the palette data to begin with externally, so we can just search it, right? Why not search it? If it's baked into an asset and you're not doing any sort of palette system in a game, it's a nightmare. Like, you just have to, the artists have to do that. And so what Palette Sniffer does is if two colors are the same, it actually highlights them like this. And the highlight box will even be the same color. So it sort of immediately alerts you, these colors are the same. And then once you sort through like this, you can sort of immediately find, we sort by hue, like similar hues, right? And so we can look and say, are those two similar? None of them are in this point, obviously. But that's the point in Palette Sniffer. So Palette Sniffer was like actually mostly vibe coded. It's a little bit of a mess. If we go back to it, it's not too bad. It's like 776 lines. So it's like not that crazy of an application anyways. But yeah, it was vibe coded, so there's like gonna be a load of like verbosity that's like whatever, but it's okay. But like I said, it currently relies on all of these palette files that actually we're not generating anymore. So basically, either to use the current version of Palette Sniffer with the current build of the game, I either would have to extract all of the palette data like we just started doing with the little script that I created, right? With the get pal stuff, that's what that does. It's another script that's extracting that, right? So we either do that, we could automate extracting it somehow, right? Or what it should probably do is not use these palette files. It will add an unnecessary step because the whole system doesn't need them anymore. It should just read from the image, which basically is a total rewrite anyway. Also, if we go in here, you know, one of the reasons why I've been really enjoying Odin so much is that I'm in the unusual realm of, you know, people doing game dev stuff where I want to be working on a Mac, but I'm shipping to Windows only, right? So that means I'm changing to a PC all the time for testing and stuff like that. You might want to use some of the dev tools when you're doing your testing, and bringing stuff with you between Windows and any Unix system is kind of a nightmare when it comes to package management, because this, for example, Palette Sniffer uses SDL. At the very least, got to make sure that comes with me wherever I go. With Odin, everything is just built in. It's not built in. They vendor tons of, you know, useful libraries. So anywhere where you bring Odin with you, you kind of like have all your libraries anyway. Now, obviously, you could always just compile a version of this for Windows. But considering I'm doing so much, like I'm rewriting in Odin anyway, it would be kind of nice to rewrite all of the tooling as well. And I have rewritten the tooling in terms of, we've now got some like Ruby scripts, but when it comes to actual binaries, I don't know. It's kind of nice to keep projects in the same language for the most part. So, it's also, you know, I think it would be a good exercise to keep getting better at using Odin. And also, I think it'd be kind of fun to do. You know what I mean? So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try and recreate Palette Sniffer. In Odin. That's the idea. So yeah, for now, let's just restore this repo, and we'll discard all of these as well. Yeah. Okay. So, What I think I'm going to do is... Yeah, I'm just going to separate it into its own project for now. And so we'll call it Odin Sniff. Create a new teamwork session for that. Let's just create a source directory for now. And I'll create an ass directory because we are ass men on this channel. And I will init a Sage file. And we might as well open this Sage file. We'll just call it Odin Sniff for now. We will yeah, I guess we might as well. With Odin, we only really need a run script for like the longest time. I only really add these comments because I'm going to make Sage public at some point. Which honestly is basically ready to go. I just need to do the readme. But these are all here so other people understand how to use it. Odin Sniff, Odin build. Source. Out. Okay. You know what? I guess I will. I normally have a binary directory as well. I guess we will just do that. Yeah. The annoying thing about that is we're gonna have to copy over the asset folder. Wait, no, we're not. No, it's fine. It's not going to read from the asset folder in the final build. Not in the asset folder of its own project. That's just for testing. So that's fine, actually. So that means that we can just... for this, we can... just do this. Okay. And then on stage, we'll actually do run. Right? We'll now init Tasker, which is another one of the tools that I use. And we'll just have it do that for now. I'm just thinking about how we would actually handle the Windows side of things, hypothetically. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. And we'll also just do like the install thing, because we're going to end up using File Manager probably, inevitably. And then we'll just get a simple hello world set up just for our first commit. Right. Nice. Let's try a build. Actually, yep. Okay, and let's do a tree. And lastly, let's actually copy over some palettes for testing. Right. Oh. Yeah, one thing we do need to do is we need to remake this directory as well. It should fail, all right? No, we're good. Nice. Cool. Right. And we're away. So, we're going to want format, we're going to want OS. I'm going to want Raylib. I don't think we need anything else, actually. I was thinking about, well, let's just start with that. We may add UI at some point. Right. So, I guess because we're working with a GUI, the logical place to start is we're just getting a window going and a main loop going and stuff. So I'm just thinking about this. Yeah, there's no point in bypassing like any of the kind of standard stuff. We'll keep it traditional. Setup, input, update. And then we'll do a for and then we'll do if raylib.window should close, do break. So we're creating our main loop here. That's basically what we're doing, and just sort of the structure of the basic structure of the program. I'll do import. I'll do update. I'll do render. Okay. So, set up window, init window. We'll just do 800 by 600 to start with. We're not even thinking about you know, something as minor a detail as what resolution the program is going to be at this point. Yeah. And then we're going to begin drawing. We're going to draw background. No, clear background, sorry. And we're going to do that in Raylib black. And then we're going to end drawing. Okay. And there we go. Done. If only. Okay. So definitely did a typo there. I'm not too bothered about typos in commits, so you should know what it says. But if I can catch it before I commit it, I'll rename it. Unless it's really bad, and I might rename it after the fact. How are things getting on with the stream and stuff? You know, I have a feeling with a lot of this stuff with like AV1 and whatnot, like YouTube basically is showing a warning that it saying that basically it would prefer if it was a higher bit rate. Nonsense anyway, because we can't do that with my internet. But the funny thing is, with AV1 and stuff, you don't need to. That's the whole point. Bitrate's not the be all and end all of what your stream looks like. So kind of interesting. But anyway, looks like everything's still going good. How are we doing, chat? Any lurkers? Yeah, so I think what we want to do next is basically start to scan for some of these bad boys. So we're gonna want to OS, what is it, read directory. Yeah, so this should return like some strings. Yeah. So if we do like yeah, I guess palettes. Yeah, you know, strange to make yourself a rope. True. Good point. Oh, is this actually... Actually returns an error. A value is an error. It's missing a procedure call. Odin Lang Docs. I can't remember how this works. Packages. Whoa. Why it's got white screen? Gotta love how shit the web is. What was we looking for? Read directory. Oh, I'm such an idiot. I'm not even telling it where to look. I did look this up before. But this doesn't seem like it's right. Maybe this isn't what I want. Who caught a keyboard in too? I know, right? It arrived like this when it's delivered. Should get a refund. Wait, no, hang on. Let's just see what it... Some redirectory examples first. Oh, okay. Right. doesn't really, it's not very well documented, is it? In the what? I think it's just wrong. Yeah, it's an API change. I was thinking it would be. Okay, you open the directory first. Got ya. Seemed like something was out of date. Yeah. Oh, I should do that. Yeah. Does make sense to actually call this handle, considering it's what this one takes. Never seen this. Constant use in this way. The print line. I really like that there's specific print lines for errors. It's so good. What this seems to be, well, I'm not sure if this is like the newer way they're doing things right now in Odin. I really like how error handling, like all the options you have for error handling in Odin. It's one of the things I love about it. But some of the stuff in the sort of standard library in Odin, error is just the error is just returned as a boolean. So you're just saying like if it errored or if it was okay. You know what I mean? It's if okay, something like that, right? You would just call this if this okay, right? But errors as types is a good idea, I think. But sometimes it's an error as a type, and sometimes it's a boolean. Everything that I've done so far is a boolean. But I think this is good. Just notice a typo actually. What? There was an error opening the directory. There was an error reading directory content. Okay, so we actually want this to go to our ass folder. And I really need to go to the bathroom. I've been holding it in. I can't hold it any longer. Be right back. I just took my jacket off, and now I'm feeling like that was premature. You ever do that? Take your jacket off and immediately regret it. I did close the door once it warms up in here. I'll take it off. You can trust a Boolean, it's true. True, I like these programming jokes. Glad that we seem to get things sorted. The stream setup. It was actually so funny after all of the messing around. There's nothing to do with how I had it set up in OBS and stuff. It's just YouTube actually requires you to create a new stream key if you want to specify what resolution it's going to be in. All right. I was thinking about I think, yeah, maybe we actually do go with more standard terminology here. Can we just, as like a test, do like a oh. Yeah, we should also probably delete this. No? Does this not need deletion? Oh, it's not. Yeah, you don't delete. You close it when you do an open. And not the biggest deal in our case, really, but aha. It worked. We're just printing out a lot more than we need. Dot name. Bingo. Nice. That's really good progress. Hell yeah. good. I recently changed something about my whole like dev setup here, where this this tool, right, that I made for managing like build flavors and stuff, like it's just a little simple build tool that I made in Swift called Stage, right? I actually have added a keybind to my Teamworks config that runs Sage, and one of them just runs just Sage on its own, which the way it's set up is Sage anyway, if you don't give it any argument, will automatically run whatever is in this value here. So like in this case, it's going to do our run command, right? So I can do literally like Teamworks prefix and R, and it will just do the default whatever set as the default Sage function. So which is almost always used to run the project, right? And then another one, I've got another Teamworks shortcut that's T, and what T does is run Tasker, which is another little build tool. Well, it's not really a build tool, it's another just helpful little tool for running different command line tasks quickly. You can create just a list to select from, and it runs that when you press T instantly, and you can have like whatever you want going in there, but it just means I'm just instantaneously running stuff straight from my editor, without having to set anything up, you know what I mean, in any kind of like ID or anything. It's fucking awesome. It's rapid. I was doing a similar thing where I was running a terminal inside NeoVim and I basically just had a keyboard shortcut that would automatically run Tasker when you use a certain keyband when a terminal launched. But doing that inside NeoVim, inside a Teamworks session, is a lot slower. Doing it, what this actually does is just, you'll see at the top on the Teamworks bar, it's created a new Teamworks window that only lasts for as long as the program runs. And that's why it's rapid, because it's just in the terminal, not inside my editor. Love it. Anyways, so what do we want to do with this now? We want to check to do something like check well, we could always, we should probably check if it's an image. If we're going to start loading things in as textures, I guess we don't want to like create errors by allowing other files, although we do have total control. Like, it's just for me, isn't it? Like, we could just like, why would there be anything other than an image in there anyway? But it seems like a good idea regardless. So I'm going to import strings. And then we should be able to do if entry Dot name. Wait, no, how would we do this? Would it be strings dot if it has a suffix, trim suffix, I mean, I swear there was something to do with just returning a suffix. There absolutely has to be. Let's have a look at strings, I guess. We could obviously just read it. Why are we not seeing everything? You know what? Maybe it's in a different library. What did I read before I started? Oh, wait. Wait, no. Strings. Yeah. Sorry, I totally just ignored what I was supposed to be reading there. Okay, you can type in what you're looking for as a argument. So this you would do like entry dot name and then dot png, right? And then yeah, we could just, for testing purposes, just do this, right? So now, if we actually just go to this folder and we just do like test.text or something. So we've got a text file there now. It will actually ignore anything that's not a PNG. Whereas if we put it on the outside, you see we get the PNG. Cool. Right then. Now we can start getting weird with it. Let's create a global array of raylib textures. I guess it needs to be a dynamic array. Fucking love dynamic arrays in Odin. So useful. Amazing. And we'll do raylib texture. So for... let me think about this now. So now actually if we do it, we do this here. So now if we do like append texture array, then we can do raylib.load texture entry. Fuck. Can we typecast? Oops. Can we typecast this maybe? Oh wait, no. What am I talking about? Entry dot name string to C string. Okay, good. That's good. We can definitely typecast that. He says. Cannot cast as a C string from a string. Can we do like so how can we do this? Oh, clone to string, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. That is how you do it. Yes. Yep. I've done that before, I remember. Clone. Yeah. Where did I do this before, actually? Yeah, I remember you got to free it when you do clone the string. I remember that, yeah. Is it not strings? I'm looking at too many different screens right now. It is. Going to C string. Yeah. So what we really want to do is oh my god, I almost out of water. I'm gonna have to wrap up sooner than I wanted because we had to mess around with testing the stream setup with the multicasting. So I'm gonna have to go get some food, unfortunately. But it's probably good because I did want to do this project anyway, because I do want to remake this tool in Odin. But the main reason I streamed today was to test the new stream setup. It's been honestly taken like days to get everything sorted. It's been a nightmare. Yeah, so what I'm actually gonna do, is we do this, right? And then so can I just delete it? That's what we want. Alright, mate. Thanks, Tin. Appreciate that. Yeah, part of the whole reason why I'm just like remaking, started just remaking projects I've done in other lounges in Odin is to just better internalize Odin. Anyway, what was the point in what I was doing here? Oh yes, to load texture from a string. And then we'll, for now, we'll do like 4 texture in text array. Jesus, what's wrong with my fingers today? What? We will do unload texture texture array texture. Oh right, yeah, it needs to do in length. And then delete. I mean, it doesn't really matter to delete the texture array if it's lasting for the whole time. Okay, so now we can render it, but it's going to be tiny. Let's see if we can even see it. Because it's so small, we need to do a render texture. But anyways, render texture. I swear I... Wait, no. What's going on here? Yeah, that was weird. Wait, no, I'm unloading it. What am I doing? Render. And then it should just be... Oh no, what am I doing? It's... Oh, it's not render. I know why. I'm getting confused. It's draw texture. Render texture is a render texture. I'm trying to do this without, I'm still new to Odin. I'm trying to do more projects off the dome. Okay. It's imperceivable. Oh, failed to open file. It's not imperceivable. Oh, right. I know why. Right. How do we actually want to do this? there should actually, if we go to let's have a look at file info. This wouldn't be surprised. Full path. There you go. Didn't take long, did it? Yeah, so we'll do. There we go. I can actually just about see the 4 pixels of this file. Yeah, we should do like loaded file as texture. Nice. You know what's funny is I don't know if this is even how we're gonna have it work anyways. Need to start thinking about the actual functionality. So previously, we converted everything to just text, basically. We just extracted the image data and then read that. But maybe we need to restart, rethink, just from sort of like first principles, what we want it to actually do as a tool. I mean, the point is to be able to inspect all the palettes and check for color bridging. So, you know, just yeah, we are going to want to extract the color data, aren't we? hypothetically, like, is sorting by hue just like, if you go off the RGB data, figuring out which, whether red, green, or blue is the highest. I'm gonna ask Claude about that. The hue depends on which channel is the maximum. Okay. But it doesn't have to actually sort by hue. We just need to organize colors that are similar next to each other. I wonder if we could basically accomplish 90% of this just by literally extracting the three values for red, green, or blue, comparing which is the largest, and organizing all of the ones. You know what I mean? You could do sort of in ascending, descending order, group by whether red, green, or blue is the largest value. And then brightness, you could just add the three numbers together. I could see where that gets us. And then obviously identifying which ones are the same is simple as well. So yeah. That means that we are on the right track with doing it this way, actually. But I'm going to have to leave it there because I need to go and get some food. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to carry on with this project at some point, but the primary point today was just to test out the new stream stuff. So I'm going to be watching it back, see if there's any problems, stuff like that. But we'll be back soon with some more dev streams. Also, if the new stream setup, turns out to all be top notch or whatever, I'll be streaming on my main channel, doing some Valheim speedrun stuff very soon. Yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. Have a good one. Bye.